Halevi, we discussed last time. He says it's a great mitzvah from the Torah. After Chamocha, love your neighbor like you love yourself. And a lot of times we see people are very strict in regards to praying and learning and shaking lulav and wearing tefillin. You have to be just as strict and take it serious. The mitzvah after Chamocha, loving your neighbor. It's a mitzvah in the Torah like anything else. And they bring down over here that how can a person love his fellow Jew to the point where he has no negative feelings towards him? Aren't we all human? We all have feelings. So he brings a Yerushalmi Masechet Nedarim, or brings a mashal. He says, for example, someone's cutting meat, right? And by accident, he was cutting with his right hand, and he cut his left hand. So what should a person do? He should go and say, bad hand, how dare you? Oh, and go and get angry and go and retaliate? No. So too, a person has to understand that all the Jewish people are like one body. And therefore, if one hurts the other, doesn't mean that we should go and retaliate. When we do, we're really hurting ourselves. They ask, the Hasidic masters ask, how is a Jew supposed to fulfill all 613 mitzvot? There's a lot of mitzvot for Kohanim. There's a lot of mitzvot that apply to people that are not in their situation. There's a lot of mitzvot that apply only to people in Israel. I don't have those ability to do those mitzvot. So how do I fulfill and get my tikkun for the 613 mitzvot? My soul needs all of them. Rather, the explanation is, since all the Jewish people are one body, and therefore, when the liver is healthy and the lungs are healthy, the hand also lives. So therefore, when we're connected as one, or really one, so it's considered when they do the mitzvot, I also do the mitzvot. I also am connected and part of them, and I get the tikkun also. But when we're separated, when we're not together, we're not one body, we don't view each other as one body, so then that's when we lose out. That's when we don't have the connection. That's when we don't have the ability to say, I did the 613 mitzvot. So, therefore, that's why a person has to make sure to utilize this opportunity to do this mitzvot. We said the mitzvah of Avat Yisrael can apply. You can get millions of mitzvot in 1 second. How? Because there's a mitzvah separately for every single Jew. So imagine all the Jews in the world. You accept in your heart. You 100% love every Jew. So there's millions of Jews. So you just accomplished millions of mitzvot. So now, if you know somebody, then the question is, so how can you fulfill the mitzvah? You love them, and if you don't even know who they are, it's an unknown Jew. So the Meshech Chochmah writes, he says, "V'ahavta l'recha kamocha, ani Hashem." The pasuk says, "Love your neighbor like you love yourself. I am Hashem." And you shall love your neighbor like yourself. I am Hashem. There's a mitzvah to love Hashem, but did we ever see Him? No. We can grasp Hashem with our senses. So too, we have a commandment to love Him, and so too the Torah says, "Love your neighbor like you love yourself." Even though you don't know Him and you didn't really ever see Him, love Him just like you love Hashem. Because you know what Hashem stands for, and you know what Hashem represents, and you know what Hashem Baruch Hu does. Therefore, you see another Jew, I know what he stands for, I know what he does, I know what he represents, I love him also. If you see a car with a bumper sticker that says they're Jews, you see a license plate, I love Hashem, or thank you Hashem, you see people with mezuzot, you know the feeling when you're in Miami and you're in a place where you're vacationing and you see another Jew, people get so excited. They say, oh, this is a Jew. There's Jewish people here. Look, there's Jews. You go and you say, oh, shalom, hey, excuse me, you know where I can find a shul? You know where I can get a restaurant? It feels like, wow, invigorating. How come when we're in New York, how come we're not back here, we don't feel the same way? We see a Jew, okay, another Jew. They make a joke. There's 2 Jews, 2 different cities, right? They made a joke. The guy found him on an island. And he was deserted. He was all alone by himself. He said 2 buildings. He says, what are these 2 buildings with Magen David's on them? He says, this is 2 shuls. He says, why'd you build 2 shuls? You're one guy. He says, this is a shul I go to, this is a shul I don't go to. He said, Haz Shalom. Why? Why should it be that way? It should be that everybody should be excited for each other, love each other, and fulfill this mitzvah of V'ahavta l'recha kamocha. The Shlach Kadosh writes, he says that the 10 commandments, if you take all the letters, they're comprised of 620 letters. The gematria of the word keter, crown, is also 620. And therefore what? It represents the crown of Torah. 613 represents, right, the 613 mitzvot. But how many numbers are missing? 7, right? The number 7 is missing to get to the word crown. So therefore he says, the Shlach Kadosh says, these 7 extra letters represent the 7 mitzvot Rabbanan. For example, Megillah, lighting Shabbat candles, Yetedidayim, Halel, Purim, Chanukah, but then that's how you get to 620. But the Shlah says another explanation. He says, then the last 7 letters of the 10 Commandments, it says, Asher le're'echa, do not be jealous of what you have to your friend, right? Your friend has. So those 7 letters represent After the Chakamocha. He says, when do you get the crown of Torah? 620 is when you do the 613, but you also have to have included in that mitzvah after